What's up, guys? A lot has changed since 2022 when I first started my cleaning company. We've done well over 7 figures since then, but the market has changed, technology has changed. So I wanted to make this video to show you exactly what I would do if I was restarting in 2026 to start and scale my cleaning company. So, step 1, register your business. Go to the state, get an LLC. With that, you're going to be able to get an EIN number. EIN is basically just a social security number for businesses. With that EIN number, you could then open up a business bank account. We always want to separate personal from business. When it comes to choosing a name for your LLC, just make sure to have cleaning in the name. It helps with ranking. It's going to help with SEO. It's going to help get your Google business ranked above others, right? So for example, you could do Elite Star Cleaning. Doesn't really matter. Just have cleaning in the name. It helps a lot. Now, you have your LLC, you have your EIN number, you have your business bank account number. What's next? Well, we need to set up systems. I look at systems like how I would look at building a large skyscraper. Okay, if you want to build a large building, you need to have a large, strong foundation to build that building. If you have a weak foundation, it's going to crumble. But with a strong foundation, you could build a massive building. Same thing with business, but the foundation in business is just systems. And with cleaning, luckily, you don't need that much. So first, you're going to want to set up a Google Workspace. And with that, you'll get a professional email. I would just do like info@Elite Star Cleaning. And then from there, I really recommend setting up a Google Drive. How I have it is I have my master Google Drive. So it would be like Elite Star Cleaning Drive. And then you have subfolders. So legal, logo, financials, hiring, marketing, and in there you should all have subfolders. So I always recommend whenever I start any business, that's one of the first things I do. Now, you have your Google Drive. Next, we need a business line. I recommend OpenPhone, also known as Quo. They recently rebranded. It's going to allow you to download an app right on your cell phone and create a new number, and you'll be able to receive your calls, texts, all in this app. Again, separating your personal from your business. This is extremely helpful when you hire someone because instead of having to buy them a whole new business phone, you could just add them to the app and they could sign in right on their device, whether it's an Android or an iPhone. Next, you're going to want to get a scheduling software. Now, I use ScheduleDrop. It allows you to schedule jobs, process payments, assign those jobs to your cleaners. Your cleaners will have their own app. It's basically an all-in-one scheduling system. You also have the ability in there to send two-way SMS messages, so automated notifications, automated emails, all in the communication hub. And again, those are 2 ways, which means the customer could respond to those automations and you could respond back to them, which has been super helpful for my business. Now, you have your business line, you have your Google Workspace, you have your Quo, your business line. What's next? What's next is a website. Now, if you saw some of my previous videos, I mentioned Framer, I probably mentioned WordPress. What I would recommend nowadays is just Lovable. It is super easy. It's like $20, $25 a month, and you'll be able to own your website. You could host it either through Lovable or on Squarespace, whatever you want to do. You could connect it to Lovable, but it's super cheap, it's super affordable, and you could build awesome websites. In the free course, I'll put in the description below, I do go through exactly how I would prompt Lovable to build you a high quality website for your cleaning company. So now you have your foundation. That's all you need, guys, if you're just starting. Eventually, you might want to add Go High Level to that sequence down the line. In the beginning, it's not necessary. Same with insurance, guys. That's up to you. In the beginning, it's not necessary if you're on a budget until you really start getting jobs. But if you have a little money to spend, get insurance with like Next. It'll be $50. Look for a general liability policy for up to $1 million. One thing I forgot to mention with systems, guys, is a Google business profile. This is the most important thing you could possibly have in your business. Okay, I get 2 to 3 calls per day plus website visits and website inquiries from my Google business profile. It takes time. We have 200 plus reviews now, but it's the most important thing. You could either register as a service area or a storefront. If you register as a storefront, you're going to need a sign. You're going to need to potentially have a storefront. There are ways around it. Storefronts will rank much higher than service areas, but if you do a service area, you still need to show a lot of documentation as well. So you're going to need to show a bunch of papers, like your articles of incorporation, with whatever address you are going to be using to verify your Google business profile. So if your articles of incorporation is 123 Main Street, then your Google business address needs to be 1234 Main Street. And you could also show them flyers, you could show them business cards, you could show them mail from the bank. Don't show any sensitive info, of course, but you could show them this to get your business registered. And if they ask if you want to do a video or a mail-in code, do the video. Every time I do the mail-in code, I immediately get denied. Now we have our systems. Now we have our business registered with the state. What's next, guys? We need to hire cleaners. Hiring cleaners. There are a few different ways to hire cleaners. The best way, in my opinion, is just Indeed. Make an Indeed post, guys. You're going to have to pay maybe $50 to $100 for that post, but you will get tons of applicants. You're going to be looking for cleaners that have their own supplies, their own vehicle, experience cleaning, and are looking for more work, right? When we're looking for cleaners, we're looking for people who are typically charging below market value rate, who struggle finding clients, who struggle marketing, who struggle doing sales. This way we can find clients who are willing to pay market value rate and then connect them to the cleaners and make a percentage, right? That's how we operate. And I hire them under subs. If you're just starting, I would recommend 1099 subcontractors. And eventually, if you decide to, if maybe you're struggling with quality or standard, or you want to enforce standard operating procedures, then you could eventually switch them to W-2. Now, a little side note, guys, if you wanted to give them uniforms, it's 1099, look at the laws. You're allowed to, but you can't enforce it. So I have these uniforms for my cleaners. We have a nice little polo with our logo on here as well. So you could get a nice polo. I got these from Vistaprint, pretty affordable. If you have some money to spend, I recommend doing it. It's worth the investment in my opinion. Another tip and trick, guys, for people who aren't working as efficiently, this has really helped me with my business, is you should get a brick. The absolute biggest distraction, the biggest addiction that no one talks about nowadays is cell phones. Everyone's addicted to their cell phone. They have it on them 24/7. I could barely talk to another person without them just looking at their phone the whole time. I'm guilty of this myself, which is why I use Brick. I'm not sponsored or affiliated by them in any way, but it's really, really helped me. You just tap it and it will lock whatever social media platforms you want to lock on your phone. So TikTok, Instagram, whatever. Anyways, back to hiring, guys. What you're going to want to do once you find good applicants is you're going to want to interview them. I would do a Zoom interview or even meet them in person. You could also do group interviews to kind of save time. So you could get a bunch of people in there at once and go through interviews all at the same time. From there, you'll see who shows up, who's professional, who actually has the experience, who you could talk to. And from there, you could decide who you want to hire. I'll put a link of a document of interview questions I typically ask cleaners to see if they're a good fit. Now, we're going to onboard them. We're going to send them a subcontractor agreement, which also I would embed a non-solicitation agreement in there as well so they can't poach your clients. But that goes over what you expect from them, what they could expect from you. The non-solicitation agreement will typically be like a 2-year agreement. They can't solicit any of your clients that you bring to them. And then from there, we'll get them onboarded to ScheduleDrop. So they'll have the app downloaded, they'll be in the system. And then from there, we could schedule the test cleaning. They're not really officially hired yet. It's kind of like a working test. So in this test cleaning, we're going to see if they're able to show up on time, if they're professional. We're going to be able to see how they actually clean firsthand, and also if they poach clients. So at the end of the cleaning, you could ask, hey, you did a great job. Who should I contact for the next cleaning? Or who should I reach out to for the next cleaning? And then from there, they will either say, as you should have explained on the interview as well, but go to the company or reach out to this number. But if they hand you your business card, then you should still pay them for the cleaning, of course, but I would not continue to work with that person because they will poach your clients. And you will be paying for leads and paying for these customers, and then you're going to get them stolen from you. So that's why we do the working interviews, and it's also to see how they clean, right? Are they doing a good job? Are they going through the checklist that you should have provided for them as well? It's super important to do that. Now you have 2 to 3 cleaners hired. And one question I get from a lot of people is, well, what if I don't have like clients yet? Should I still hire cleaners? Yes, hire 2 to 3 cleaners, do the test interview, see who passes everything. And then from there, you let them know, look, we're a newer company. As soon as we get clients, as long as we continue, as long as you show up and you do a good job, we will get your schedule full eventually, but I can't guarantee you consistent work right in the beginning. So just let them know that, but hire them first. The first thing I would do is warm outreach. You want to reach out to everyone you know and let them know you have a cleaning business. Reach out to all of your friends, family members who are already having a cleaning service and offer to match their price and to get going. We want to get some quick wins. That's a great way to get quick wins. I have friends who I work with to this day from when I just started out 4 years ago now. So highly, highly recommend doing that. And you should also reach out to anybody who maybe owns a commercial building or who has an office or who owns Airbnbs, and just talk to them and introduce yourself. Post it on your social medias, text people. It's a great way to connect with old friends, and it's a way to get some quick wins and quick revenue. Now, once you do that, let's go to either paid ads, cold outreach, or guerrilla marketing. The most cost effective and what I would do second, I would kind of combine this with paid ads, is guerrilla marketing. I would get flyers, have your logo on it, what services you offer, as well as contact information, right? Phone number, email. I'd probably just do one CTA, which would be a phone number, because that's how most people prefer to communicate nowadays. And then go to apartment complexes, guys. At these apartment complexes, go to the leasing agent and ask them if you could put this in high traffic areas like the coffee station. Maybe the elevator has a little box on the elevator that you could put the flyers in. Maybe they could put it in the move-in packets, but most of them at least, will be more than happy to help you guys out, because if they have cleaner units, they're gonna have less damage, they're gonna have less fees, less security deposits they're gonna have to take from people. So it's a win-win for both parties. You could also sponsor real estate events. I did this back in the beginning, pop up this picture of me presenting, but I've done 2 of them. One I did and one my brother did. What you're going to do is call like a Keller Williams or a big agency near you, and you're just going to ask if you could sponsor their monthly meetings, because every month they have all of their real estate agents come and they do a presentation and they talk and they connect, and we will supply the sandwiches, the food. Costs a few $100, and you're allowed to do a presentation and then connect with the real estate agents. When I did it, I got nothing, zero, zilch. Okay, I didn't make any deals, but it was still worth it, because then my brother did it, and he built a relationship with a very successful realtor team in our area that we work with to this day. We've gotten thousands of dollars worth of jobs from them. So I would definitely recommend doing it. We should even be doing it even more, but do it more than 2 times, do it 3, 4 times, go to every real estate agency near you. Next, paid ads. LSA is a very well-known paid ad. If you don't know what that is, it's just going to Google local service ads, and you're essentially able to put your business at the top with just a calling icon where you're paying per call. And the difference between like Google, for example, and Meta is it's just intentional versus distraction-based marketing, right? On Meta, if you're running ads on, let's just say Instagram, for example, they're scrolling. They'll see a video, maybe you have a discount, a static ad, whatever that is. Like, oh, maybe I could use a cleaning, but they weren't actually searching for that cleaning. So you're gonna have a lower quality leads, but a higher volume. Versus like Google LSA, it's a very high quality lead because people are searching house cleaning near me, and it's mostly serious buyers. However, it is saturated now. It's super expensive. It's not like how it was in 2022. So you have to convert these guys to recurring, and you have to track everything. And if you're having trouble tracking stuff, or how to set up those like Google Sheets or whatever you guys are using, I would recommend Claude AI Cowork. It's about $20 a month. It's the best AI in my opinion. It's what I use for basically everything. It will take over your screen and build really cool Excel sheets, really cool Google Sheets. It will attach APIs. It will do a bunch of technical stuff that I am just not capable of doing. So I definitely recommend doing that. Anyways, it's important to track it. If you're not tracking your paid ads, whether it's Meta, it's LSA, you'll never know whether you need to increase ad spend or decrease ad spend. And you only know that when you have the data to see that. So make sure to be tracking it. Now, other paid ads venues you could do is Thumbtack, you could do Bark, you could do Angie's. Those are not as high quality in LSA in my opinion. It's slightly lower cost. Thumbtack's still pretty expensive. But if you work the leads, if you're tracking the leads, it could make sense. What works for me might not work for you, and vice versa. So I recommend trying many different things. Me personally, I've tried Thumbtack, I've tried Bark, I've tried Angie's, I've tried LSA, I've tried practically everything, and I found what works for me. That's, if you get anything from this video, try stuff, guys. Figure out what works for you. What works for, Joe Schmo in Alaska might not work for you in Connecticut. Right? So figure out what works for you. Now we went over paid ads, we went over guerrilla marketing, and we went over warm outreach. The last but not least is cold outreach. And this is preferably for commercial. So you could be doing cold emails, cold calling, and also just door to door, just going into these stores. For cold emails, I would look into tools like Instantly, where you could be blasting emails to all of the people in your area. Same with cold calling, but before you blast, you need to know who to blast to. So go to a lead scraping list from Apollo. You could scrape lists of, it's technically not leads, it's just data. So you could scrape data from Apollo. You could scrape data from someone on Fiverr, from someone on Upwork, of commercial buildings in your area. Or maybe you want to scrape medical buildings, or maybe you want to scrape real estate offices, or maybe insurance brokerages, whatever that is. You could request those specific industries, or maybe it's gyms, right? Whatever it is, request those specific industries that you want to target, and then from there you could do cold outreach to those brands. So that's what you're going to do for commercial. You could also do paid ads for cold outreach, but you're going to want for commercial, but you're going to want to probably do Google search PPC, and I wouldn't recommend that unless you have a large budget. One thing we didn't cover in this video is pricing jobs. I have a free pricing calculator below, so you could put in the beds, baths, square footage, pets, type of cleaning, frequency, and it will come up with a price for you. These are the exact prices I charge for my business, so I highly recommend checking that out. It will be in the link below. It's totally free. That is it, guys. That's the 2026 playbook. We went over registering your business, systems, hiring cleaners, lead gen and marketing. If you guys have any questions, comment down below. If you got value from this, please subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks. Bye.